What's going on, YouTube fam? We got another movie review coming at you today, and today we're going to be talking about Takeout Girl. Now, this movie did premiere earlier this month at Cinequest, and unfortunately, with everything that's happening with the COVID-19, the coronavirus, the pandemic all over the world, I don't have any information as far as the release of this movie, how it will be released, and when, any of that sort, because we all know that the industry right now is in shambles because of, just happen to cope with everything that's going on. However, if you did attend this festival, you were able to see a screening of this movie, and I have to say it was truly phenomenal, which is exactly why I had to make sure I got a review out for this movie, because this was a really solid movie, and I watched it twice, and the more I think about it now, I'm thinking like I'll probably watch it again because it was just really truly enjoyable. But I will definitely talk about the different aspects as to why I love this film, and really the really well done job of this film and its cast and everything that's put together to making this happen. But before I start, also I got to say, this movie was directed, written, produced, and quite frankly, anything and everything that he can get his hands on in Hassani Johnson. He did a phenomenal job in getting this movie together. And like I said, the guy is accredited for doing absolutely everything, and as you can tell by that, this must be a special project, his golden child, making sure that this film was put together. But this movie let's talk about the movie now. This movie is, it follows Tera Wong, who is played by Tera Wong, who's also accredited as or was given a credit for a writer in this film. So that's really interesting as well. But Tera, this is official synopsis, is to give her family a second chance and a better life and save her family's failing business. Tera Wong, a desperate 20-year-old Asian girl, parlays her Chinese food delivery expertise into a profitable drug hustle. Now, let's talk about Tera a little bit. Tera is truly can truly be described by a lot of words. I mean, she's a hustler, as they said. She has a lot of heart. This girl has endless, no fear, just endless courage. She's educated, and quite frankly, you put that all together, she's a certified badass. It truly is, and I really enjoy the character. But like I said, she does whatever she can to help her family and the restaurant business, as far as the business aspects of the family and the financial aspects of the family. And what really is the real wrench into this plot is that, as much as she's trying to help her family business, her mom also is the restaurant owner, is really not taking no time for our rest and recovery. She was in an accident, and she's truly suffering and taking a beating from the day-to-day operations of this business. And she does not take any personal time to rest, to recruit, and she doesn't even have the money to get the treatment that she need in order to rehab her injuries. So it really puts the family in a really tough predicament, because they understand that the demand of running the business brings in the money, and if you have the money, you keep the business open, you keep the family financed. But at the same time, the business is truly taking a toll on the mother, which is taking a toll on the family, because they're seeing the mother suffer. It's just truly something that's so surreal that I think in one way, shape, or form, that we've all experienced a combination of such, and however you want to tweak it for your own personal life. But I feel like a lot of us can relate to seeing the head of the family working very hard, being super selfish, but also our care is to want to give back to to see how can we help and benefit and make things better. So I love that dynamic automatically, and it's introduced early in the film, so it quickly pulls the viewers into saying like, okay, I like what's going on here. And another thing too is that you quickly buy into every character into this film, because I feel like the whole entire cast did a really phenomenal job, whether it be main characters or just even sub characters. Everyone did a phenomenal job in their roles. I mean, we talked about the mom, Wavy Wong, who's played by Lina Yi. I mean, excellent. Lalo, who I think did a good job. I thought Hector did a good job. These are characters, by the way, and Nate all did phenomenal jobs. These characters are really big standouts, and then the respective actors did a phenomenal job in this project. Really solid performances from the entire cast here. Easily, and it's weird because it's just like, you expect your main characters to do what they're gonna do, but it's that these sub characters make such a presence on the screen instantly that it's like, okay, I feel the energy, I feel everything that's coming from this character. The demeanor, I understand the story you're trying to tell without even having to say a word. So it's just easily to buy into these characters. Might I add, a very diverse cast with tons of ethnicities and nationalities well on display in this movie. And while all that's even on display on screen, behind the camera and everybody that took to get this project done, is super diverse as well too, and it's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, again, you have an Asian American female and African American writer. You have African American directors who are U.S. Marine. Writers, producers are Asian American as well as Latino, white, African American content creators. And the principal cast is Asian American. 50% of the crew is women. So it's a lot to to appreciate here as far as the diversity both on the screen and off the screen. There's a lot of things that happen within this story that just truly, it takes you on the ride. So let's talk about Tera really quick. So again, Tera delivers Chinese food for a mom's, struggling restaurant, which is located in the low bottoms in, the infamous Los Angeles projects. And, with all that's happening, in the location, the failing business, the mom in need of medical attention, her brother was really unpredictable. Just all that's always happening. She just really finds out that, she's in such a predicament in trying to help, influence, or just make things better. She just really doesn't know what to do. But anyway, on just any other regular day, she's tasked to make a delivery, and she delivers to a person named Lalo, and it's a really odd location in which they meet, but it is what it is. Her being, the fearless, very strong-minded, and also have a chip on her shoulder person she is. Lalo tries to get personable with her, and she's, she's like, call me what you call me. Thus how the name Takeout Girl comes about. And so while, she makes the delivery, meeting Lalo and everything, she quickly assesses the situation. She knows what she's in, and it's a drug dealing operation. She sees the money that's being exchanged, and she automatically thinks, as hostile as the situation is, the scenario is, she automatically thinks like, whoa, this is potentially an option that I can take if I can get involved that would solve all of my family's troubles easily. But, her being the smart, calculated person she is, she automatically thinks like, okay, but this also has its dangers to it. So she kind of pulls back from the motivation and wanting to progress on. So she makes the delivery, and then she's out. But then there's another scene, and it's a scene between her and her mother. This scene is so energetic, so emotional. I was, whew. It was something. But I have to say, like, as a child, myself, and all of us child, obviously, but just think about it, it's getting me worked up. Seeing her as the daughter of her mom, the daughter, and speaking to her mom, and they're talking about everything that's happening, and she's seeing her mom suffer, and her mom's just being so strong, and just, it tries to ensure to her daughter that everything's okay. But when her mom goes to her bedroom and she cries, and it just truly breaks, it breaks Tera down. It breaks the viewers. It broke me down. It was just a lot that went on in that scene. That's why I'm stumbling all over my words here. But I got to tell you, to hear a parent cry, there's nothing that adds more motivation or flame under you to want to get the job done, to make things better. And that truly was the tipping curve into Tera's motivation to indulging into this other life. And I'll talk about it in a second. But yeah, it's that scene is so powerful. Whew, it was so powerful. On the other end, I'm a big hip hop fan. I love hip hop and rap, and the soundtrack that carries you through this film definitely keeps the energy high, and it's just it plays into each plot point really well. To the point that I had to Shazam a lot because I was like, oh, I need to hear this later. I need to have this on my playlist. However, I was listening to one song and I noticed the voice that I heard, and this really, really pumped me up because I was excited. Once I had to think for a second, I was like, I know this voice. And nonetheless, MC Jen, formerly known as Jen, who, if you have no clue who I'm talking about, first of all, the song I'm talking about that was just absolutely amazing was Eat, Sleep, and Die. It's lit. You got to go ahead and look that up. But if you have no clue who I'm talking about in this artist, I mean, this guy really got his big gig back in the 106 and Park days on the Freestyle Fridays, and also his alliance with the Rough Riders. So Jen, I mean, you guys know who I'm talking about. He has some bangers on this project, and I was excited to hear a familiar artist. To the point now, I was just like, oh yeah, I gotta see what he's been up to, man. I fell off. I'll be honest, I fell off. I haven't heard from him in a while, so I kind of hear that voice on this film that I had already liked, and with some, like I said, some bangers on the soundtrack. Like, yeah, I was thoroughly excited by that. So yeah, Tera now feels like she has a solution to everything, and that's obviously entering the drug dealing business. But as smart as she is, she understands the dangers of fast money, the fast life. And then also, this movie does a good job of depicting that to the viewers. And not only just the ideal of, the glitz and glamour that you get from this, but also the absolute dangers of the usage. So, like, what I'm getting at is that I feel like this movie did a good job in using that as a realistic aspect, but not glorifying it. Because I feel like it was an educational thing where it's going to say, like, here's what happens if you do it, and why it may seem like the grass is green on the other side. Here are all the dangers of you doing it, and it's really depicted on so many different levels here. So many different levels that, it quickly reminds its viewers, like, yeah, while you can see the cash that's coming in, you quickly see how you can get into trouble by not even looking for trouble. And I think that's super important. And speaking of one of those type of scenes, making his acting debut, Cambodian hip-hop artist and Billboard Top 50 artist, Stupid Young, he's Officer Yan, and you can check that scene out now. But yeah, I felt like this movie did a really good job in focusing on the aspects of family, respect, and with the plot at hand, how hustling and the whole full circle, like I said, of what hustling does, the good, bad, and ugly, it really teaches good life lessons throughout this all, whether it be through dialogue, whether it just be through the viewing the film itself. It just does a really good job. And then I gotta be honest too, even some of the lyrics of the songs on here too kind of plays into it. Like I said, the soundtrack really plays into the film, but it also plays into the lesson storytelling and lesson telling as well as in it. So I just think it does a good job. Now look, here's how I'm gonna end this review. This final act of this movie was so intense, emotional, and surreal. It's everything. And then the cliffhanger at the end, I mean, that's all I can say. That's all I can say. This movie was well shot. The cinematography was amazing. And then, just overall acting performances, the plot, the story, everything. I had zero issues with this film at all. I just truly liked it. I hope you guys get to see it at some point. I know it's a really crazy time. I know a lot of people are having to go back to the boards to kind of figure out how they need to do things to make sure that they can make these projects profitable, because they deserve it, because there's a lot of hard work in doing so. And it's just my job as a creator to make sure that you guys can, I don't I give you enough information to pique your interest, to want you to make your decision if you want to watch it or not. But this film right here, I'm gonna help you out. This is the one you want to look out for when it does release, because I thought it was a really good, solid film. I loved it. I loved it. But I usually say I'll catch you soon, but with how things are going now, we're kind of scrambling for other content to watch. So, when there's something available, I will be back to review it. And as always, thank you for tuning in, and catch you, well, hopefully soon.